No doubt, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt. We're my most beautiful queens in the house. We're my most beautiful queens in the house.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Jamilah. Welcome to the Queen's Address. Welcome into the Queendom. Today, I have a very, very special guest, Jenya Meggs, the content executive. What's up, Jenya? How you doing?
Thank you for that beautiful introduction.
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
great. I'm great. What about you?
Good. I'm doing good. You look amazing.
You too.
I'm enjoying the outfit.
Yes.
You know I love
yes.
a good red lip. Okay.
Right.
But you look incredible. You know.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. And so I just want to jump on in because I've been anticipating this interview for a while now. And so let's start at the root. What inspired your earliest love for storytelling and media? Also, how did hip hop become part of your purpose?
Well, I think all of that question starts with hip hop.
Yes, ma'am.
Hip hop really, and I know it sounds cliche, like it all started my love for hip hop. I fell in love with hip hop when, but it truly did. And as a Brooklyn girl, growing up in East New York, in the 80s, in the Reagan era, in the crack times, you know, music was everything. It was our escape. And the stories that I saw and that I witnessed growing up in East New York, New York, Brooklyn is considered our jungle, right? And to survive out of that from immigrant parents.
Yes, ma'am.
So the stories that my parents brought over, the stories in my community, the stories in school, the stories just led me to say, okay, how can I relate to this music that was speaking to me?
Right.
And that was hip hop for me. So growing up, fast forward, just growing up in Brooklyn, I saw Biggie all the time. I went to Brooklyn Tech. Shout out to Brooklyn Tech.
Shout out to Brooklyn Tech. What's good? What's goody?
The best, the elitist. I went to Brooklyn Tech High School, and we were right across the street from Spike Lee's 40 Acres and a Mule.
Oh, wow.
So it was culturally relevant. It was a melting pot. It was Fort Greene, Brooklyn. So all of that, I was just immersed into it. The culture was on me. The stories were on me, and just tried to decide, how can I tell my story? And I wanted to be a part of that. So my storytelling stemmed from my community,
Right.
which it was impacted by hip hop, right? And what I saw on a daily basis. And again, being first generation American, what I went home to wasn't what I saw when I left my house.
Absolutely.
Right? It was a different culture. It was a different story.
Right.
A beautiful one.
Right.
But nonetheless, I was different. It was kind of like a hybrid that I lived. So from my school to college, my sorority, and you know, just coming out, getting into the industry, I just loved being immersed around being able to tell those stories and be among storytellers.
Absolutely. No, we can vibe with that. Yeah, man. Brooklyn builds us up.
Yes, it does.
I'm going to Brooklyn tomorrow. So I can get some
Get
of that,
your
get that
tips.
energy. Yeah, I can get right. And so you worked across massive platforms. Okay, I'm going to name just a few of them here because I know we don't have all day.
Okay.
But from Universal to Apple Music to mass appeal, how did your vision evolve as you transitioned through these spaces?
Good question. So Universal Music was really Def Jam. And I say that because Def Jam was my university in the business. I learned a lot. I was blessed to work with the best in the game to this day, the greatest. Oh, sorry.
Oh, he's taking a picture.
It started at Def Jam. So that was my university. Def Jam was my university, and it started there. So I worked with the best executives. I worked under the Kevin Lyles, the Julie Greenwald,
Legends, yeah.
the Leo Cohens, Randy Acker, Rob Love, Thomas Lytell. So a lot of folks don't know these names, but these were pivotal for a lot of careers, i.e. Jay-Z,
Yes.
Rihanna, Mariah Carey. I also worked for L.A. Reid. So my tenure there was very intense.
I'm sure.
And I started out on the street team. From the street team, I went into video promotions. And I just learned from the best. Shout out to Gabrielle Peluso, who was my boss at the time. She just entrusted me to really grow and stand in the space that I was in. And then I had the support. Majority of the artists at that time were building.
Right.
You know, now we're talking about the late 90s, early 2000s. So that really built the executive that I was. And then I transitioned from there to Warner Music. Warner Music, I got my executive title, if you will.
Okay.
And had the reign to really exercise what an executive was, right? And what a healthy executive was.
Exactly.
In the business. And then after Warner, that's when I started to transition into film and television and production specifically. But it was very tongue-in-cheek to music.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to get away from that love that I had. So after that, I then worked at Apple Music, still in the business, still tongue-in-cheek to music, working with artists. And that's where the production side came in, and just started to see things that eventually I would use as an executive producer, right? And how to think, how to move, how to operate and network, and start using my relationships in a really great way. And that eventually led me to Mass Appeal, where I really got my executive chops, together. And it was just a combination of everything that I had learned through other executives, good, bad, or indifferent, right? I just knew, and I knew how to pivot. I knew how to be creative in that space. My relationships were solid. And that's how the evolution, it just happened by the grace of God, to be honest with you.
Absolutely. No, it's a blessing. So many things. So many things you've done. And so just as a Black woman navigating executive spaces.
Let's go.
Okay. In music and media, how have you balanced authenticity with adaptability?
I think Black women know how to do that innately.
You gotta be a chameleon.
Right? So
You
the
know,
adaptability
yeah.
part, you're born with it. And coming from Caribbean parents, shout out to Belize,
Shout out to Belize.
I am blessed to have amazing parents.
Yes.
My father really taught me about individuality, never to shrink. All you have is your name. So that confidence was instilled in me from a child. And I have very strong women in my family.
Absolutely.
Extremely strong women, both grandmothers, just across the board. I have a really big family. Cut to, I have friends in this business that are very strong, beautiful Black women. And they're too many to name. But being amongst your tribe, that helps too. Being authentic, I think that's faith.
Come on now.
Right?
Come on now.
I would be extremely
Come on,
convicted.
masterclass. Come on, masterclass. No.
I would be convicted if I walked any other path but my light that God told me to.
Right.
And I have a lot of folks, friends, family, people that love me, that hold me accountable to that. And I just don't have that bone in me, right? The work speaks for itself. My name is my name.
Yeah.
And I don't know if pride is the word, but I can't veer off that path.
Right.
Sure, I may hit a speed bump or be amongst some others. And I've had to learn how to navigate being in it, but not of it.
Right. Right.
And yeah, that's how I balance the two.
Balance.
Is,
Right.
you know, God and the real ones around me.
Yeah, no, exactly. I understand. I remember when I used to change my accent in certain rooms, in certain spaces as a black woman. Because I felt like, okay, I don't want to be a stereotype. Or I don't want them to think that I can't be eloquent or I can't, and I can still keep it hip hop and be like, yo, I'll clock you if you get my face. I wanted to still be myself, but I didn't show myself. And we all we understand duality in business spaces. And we can talk how we need to talk on the block when the time comes,
Yes.
but time and place.
Yes.
And you mentioned earlier about shrinking yourself, like being able to be who you are in front of anyone, because they don't shrink themselves for us.
Correct.
So
And I used to
what do we
that.
look like? I remember when like an older version of me used to do that. I'm glad I don't now,
Correct.
because so many blessings have come from me just being my most authentic self than ever trying to fit in someone's fantasy of me. Like,
Yeah.
whether I was, good morning, my name is Jamilah. My name is already Jamilah. It sounds ethnic,
Yes. Yes.
So I'd be like, you know what, this is uncomfortable. And I think they can see it. I think they can feel it.
Girl, I used to have folks calling me Jen because Jenya was too authentic, right?
Oh, wow.
Jenya was too ethnic. And if you know the meaning behind my name and why my father gave me that name, I started to say, no, only special folks can call me Jen. If you really know me, right?
Right,
Everybody
right.
else, you're going to call me Jenya,
That's right.
right?
It's
Because
a
there's
privilege
so much power.
to call me by my nickname.
Talk about it.
I'm telling-
It's a privilege.
And it's not for everyone. It's bespoke.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. And so I wanted to switch gears about Welcome to Rap City, right? Okay. It was a
my
cultural reset
My baby.
for BET. And what was your personal connection to the project?
That's my baby.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
That was
ma'am.
my
I'm excited to
baby.
talk about this one.
I am so proud of that project because a lot of folks didn't believe in the project. Didn't believe maybe I could do it. Didn't believe it would be executed, and it was what it was, right? And I believed in it from the first day that I pitched it.
Right.
I won the pitch, right? I had to go through the regular channels, even though BET, I had the relationship with BET. I've had a relationship with them majority of my career. So I pitched to friends, right?
Right,
like
right.
real friends. And I just asked them to give me a chance. Let me put something together. Let me pitch some ideas. And Rap City came out of that pitch.
Wow. Oh, my
And
gosh.
a lot of folks didn't think it was going to happen, didn't think that it would come out the way that it did. But working with some friends at BET, it was a phenomenal experience. I knew it was going to do what it did.
Yeah.
Right? I can't
Yeah.
even sugarcoat that. I believed in the project. I believed in from the very beginning of it. I remember being at Mass Appeal and just putting all my time and attention, I mean, down to who we were going to interview. Reuniting all of the hosts. That was one of the proudest moments to me, and one of them passed away, but got a reunion. And I mean, they had not seen each other at that time in years, right? And that energy and being able to heal from whatever issues, be it internal, within the show, within BET, and the support within BET for the culture, what Rap City meant to hip hop 50, turning 50 at that
Yes,
time,
right.
to putting it out there, to supporting it, wrapping other things around it. The network really supported it. The network rallied and helped around it, and I couldn't have asked for a better project to come out the gate. That is one of my favorite projects to be executive producer on.
Yeah, no, that's cool. And I was thinking about the reunion. I know recently the BT Awards just passed, and it was really nice to see like it classed up. Because a
Yes.
couple years I was like, I don't know.
Yes.
But I think Stephen Hill rejoined the group or helped plan some things.
Yes.
And also just the recent passing of Ananda Lewis as well.
Yeah.
Did you have a relationship with her?
I did not,
Oh, okay.
but I, at the time when she was at BET, I was involved. I was at Def Jam, but I went to those tapings, right? So I was still very young, knew where my relationships really stem from because I got all the up and coming talent and artists at the time.
Right.
So I was Rap City. I did the booth all the time.
Oh,
so
wow.
I was the little girl in the hallways with the artists that were coming up.
Get everybody together.
Yes,
Yeah.
at Rap City, 106 in Park. So those are, more the tent poles that, I hold dear to my heart. But once in a while, I would run into her. Always a pleasant experience with her. A beautiful soul.
Yeah. Condolences to her family.
Yes, absolutely.
And so you have elevated narratives that often go unseen or underrepresented. How do you choose what stories that are worth fighting for?
I have learned there are some fights I could take on, and there's some that I have to creatively think of how do I take on those narratives, those fights. I see myself in all that I do. If I don't see myself in it, or if God doesn't tell me to go that way, I don't do it. I believe I've earned that right in my career.
Yes. Yes.
So no is a no.
Yes.
There's
Yes.
no thank you. There's no period.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. It's a complete no.
Yes.
Right.
So I don't align myself that would put me in a compromising position for my morals, my ethics, my integrity, and no money. At that point, I'm not going to be a hoe for the money either.
Come on now. Come on now.
Right?
That's queen energy.
Right.
Yes.
So there are some things that other people may say, why would you turn that down? Why would you?
It's not always about the money.
If it doesn't align, if it's too much, if it's too chaotic, no thank you,
You got to be able to sleep at night.
Yes.
And you got to look yourself in the mirror.
Correct. So the path I like to take is that, right? So that's how I kind of decide what is it. Do I even want to entertain a conversation about it, right? And what are your expectations? What are you looking for?
Exactly.
And what do you hope to gain? I love if it's future thinking, forward thinking, uplifting the Black community.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll even dig a little bit deeper. If it's about Black women, I'm in, right? And showing us in a positive light, I'm in. I shared this with you.
Yes, ma'am. Off camera. Yes, ma'am.
You are the reason. Right?
Yes,
Why?
ma'am. No, I
Because I
appreciate
don't
that.
do this. I'm behind the camera. Right?
That's why it's so special. Yeah. Thank you.
But I will partner and I will support with like-minded individuals that I could divinely align with for the greater good. I think that's important to work together. And then if it's outside of that, and working with women in general, I'm a huge advocate for women. And how do we work together? Too many times we're against each other, but there's enough room for the table. Your crown's not going to slip because of mine.
Hey, come on.
Right?
Come on, queen.
Yeah. It's not.
It's not.
Right?
It's not.
And
there's no competition when you want for your sister what you want for yourself.
oh, my God-given talents are not yours.
Hey,
Right?
exactly. Your
And
assignment
vice
is yours.
versa,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
But how do we work together for the greater good is what I love to do. So I love working with women. I love working with Black women for sure. Right? But then, all skin folk and kin folk sometimes,
Yes,
right?
ma'am. Yes,
So there's
ma'am.
discernment that comes in that too. How
Right.
do we align? What are your morals and integrity and values as well?
Exactly.
And what is the project about?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it doesn't have to be just hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
It could be anything. Is it something that's going to teach me,
Right.
advance me?
Right.
How what
Inform.
can
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
what how can I grow as an executive, as a woman? How can I be a better human being through this, through this storytelling? So that's really how I sit and determine.
Have you ever had to be on a project that you didn't believe in?
Yes.
And what was that experience
Yes.
like?
That was more in my music days.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
In my music days, I had to be a part of a lot of things that I felt were not advancing women. And it was degrading women. And to my soul, that's really the top reason why I left the music business, why I left the labels, because I just couldn't see another twerking. There's
Oh,
nothing wrong
man.
with twerking.
Right.
Once I could get it down pat, I'm down for it. Right?
Oh, drop a pen.
Yeah.
Oh,
Once I could
Lord,
get it
you
down,
are-
trust me, I'm a threat.
Listen, come on now. We gonna look.
Right? You know, nothing against
I can break it down. I can't twerk to save my life. Sorry, ladies.
Don't worry. Now
I
we got
wasn't in that
YouTube.
line when they
Right?
was passing out twerking cards. I'm like,
Me
no,
neither.
all I can do is this.
Me neither. But you know, it wasn't aligning, and it was this spiritual pull in me, you know. So working those projects, I couldn't do it.
Right.
I couldn't do it anymore because they wanted more
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
that, and it had nothing to do with them or the atmosphere. It had all to do with me. I was being moved into another
Direction.
area.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know. So even in my storytelling in film and television, right? I want to align with storytelling that is uplifting, that is not Black trauma, that uplifts our
pain
culture,
and- yeah.
black joy, Black
Exact-
excellence. Like,
yes, yes.
give me that. Let's
Yes.
celebrate. Let's tell some
Absolutely.
great stories. And sure, in those stories, you're gonna have to tell what got you here. And anyone that is on a certain level, you've had some trauma, you've had some grief, you've had some pain.
Some heartbreak and
Yes.
it's all part of life.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, right. So let's tell this roller coaster that you're on, but make sure we get to that high and the upliftment
Exactly.
of it. So I have done that but like I said, it was more so in the music business that really, you know, compromised my spirit.
Yeah, yeah. We can't let that happen. And so you've worked with artists like Nas, shout out to Nas, Kanye, Rihanna, and Mariah, just to name a few. I wanted to ask you, what's one moment in your creative journey that affirmed that you were doing exactly what you were born to do in terms of alignment and your assignment?
Sure. So I gotta go back to my university.
Come on now.
And two individuals that were not mentioned just now were that I have to attribute to it is Jay-Z and Ludacris. And my boss at the time, she was pregnant, so she was out on maternity leave.
Okay.
So I had to run the department in her absence. And
You were a
Man.
student?
I mean, I was a manager at that time before
okay.
a manager to run that department. And this was when Jay was the president
wow.
of Def Jam. And I mean, Def Jam was hitting.
I remember,
right?
yeah.
Def Jam was hitting this time. And
Hit after hit.
yeah, and Jay-Z taught me not to shrink, you know, and he taught me how to command a room. He helped me with that. He supported me in that. And he would pick up the phone and he would tell other executives at the networks, This is my first and only time calling y'all. Whatever she says, know that she already came to me and asked me.
Okay.
Right?
There you go.
So I got my support, backed by him. And it was always that. He had an open door policy. What's going on? He would come down to our offices. What's up with you? What you working on? What's your idea?
Wow.
What do you think about it? And taught me that. Kanye taught me to never settle for the first thing that's offered to you.
Wow.
Right? And he was like, nope, I'm telling you, they got more.
Right.
Than that. So I
know your
that.
worth. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He taught me that. So always fight for what you believe in. Luda. Oh man.
Luda.
I love that man.
Yeah,
and
he's
shout
great.
out to DTP because management behind it. I mean, Shaka, Jeff, Aisha, they are just phenomenal. They believed in me literally from day one. And shout out to Luda for 25th anniversary.
Yeah, shout out to
for
that.
his album because that's how long I've been with them, 25 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you look 25.
I know, right?
So you just started
Crazy.
managing right out the womb.
Out the womb.
You said, like, I'm going to get in the music. I'm going to start walking.
Yes, forget the bottles.
Yeah, let's get right to it. But shout out to Luda. That's dope.
Man, and
DTP.
that team internally supported me as an executive at Def Jam.
Wow.
And when that saying that when other people speak for you in rooms that you're not in, that's them.
That's them.
And they always did. They always said, no, we're not going here without Jenya. We're not doing this without Jenya. And Chris, he's not a diva or anything. He's a super professional businessman, and I admire his business ethic and work. But to have men like this really allow a woman to support and stand strong at that time before it was the cool thing to do, they did that. So that's really where my sense of identity, support, elevation, and where it started to happen for me. Cut to Nas was at Def Jam, and that's how we initially met. But I was working him. I was working his album, so it was a different aspect than working at Mass Appeal. What he did for me at Mass Appeal and his support and encouragement of me as an SVP and to be his right hand and to believe in the things that I was doing as an executive producer, I that's a whole nother level, that at that point in time in my career and as a woman, right? Because there's this evolution of me being a woman that he supported.
Yeah.
And where he's at as a businessman, because he's no longer just an artist.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And understanding that, having amazing talks and conversations and his support and him lending advice to me. So we had some really great moments when we were one-on-one doing his podcast at the time, and the level of trust that he put into me and trust again for an executive. I mean, I'm blessed.
Yeah.
I'm really blessed.
I'm a Nas fan. He's always talking about how much he cares and how much Black women are the backbone of the community, and just how much he relies on Black women.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I watched Mass Appeal go from the start to where they are now. And when I found out about you, I was like, I tell you, I said, okay, I figured out who was making things happen.
Yeah.
I mean, shout out to everybody here.
Yes.
But
I can't take all the credit.
No, you can't. It's a group. It's a team effort, but I said, okay, I see why.
Yes. And shout out to Sasha Jenkins, who's passed away, because he was a pivotal part of Black culture at Mass Appeal.
Definitely.
As well. So
shout out to him.
Yes.
And my condolences too. And you guys worked together.
Thank you. Yes, we did.
That had to be rough. And so you've held high stake roles as VP of content, as we just talked about, at Mass Appeal, original content lead at Apple Music. What leadership lessons have shaped you the most? Or is there an isolated instance?
What leadership positions have shaped me the most?
Yeah.
I gotta say, during my SVP time at Mass Appeal,
Yeah.
you know, the time at Mass Appeal shaped me to think on a different level as an executive. Getting that title of senior vice president and fighting the fights that I needed to fight, be it internally, externally, shaped me to really understand what it means to be a leader. And in this climate, in this culture, everybody has a title.
Absolutely.
But not everybody's a good leader.
Come on now.
Right?
Come on now.
And
Tell the truth.
I've witnessed folks that are not good leaders.
Yeah.
I've witnessed throughout my career.
Right.
Have witnessed folks that are not good leaders. But I understand way intensely. Mass Appeal was smaller than a Def Jam, smaller than a Warner, smaller. They were small but mighty.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And even the executives that were there, right? Small but mighty. And why I say that is because to be a leader of a smaller group, you're more hands-on.
Exactly.
You're more touching. And I always treat came from the understanding that be it the intern, be it the person who's picking up the trash when you're working late, whomever it is, be it your office mate, whoever your colleagues, you know, how do you uplift them?
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
How do you empower? How do you encourage? How do you support them if you see this person needs some help, be it an assistant, a junior executive, or someone that wants to take that path? What is my contribution to it? And sometimes that means I have to sit back. And Rap City was where I got to really do that for somebody. And this will tear me up because this young lady, her name's LaQuinn Alexander. And LaQuinn is a phenomenal producer, young producer. And on Rap City, I remember she was just quiet. And I was like, no quiet people around me, right? So every time we would have calls with BET and production and this, I made her talk for herself. I was not going to talk for her. So I would throw her
into the buzz.
into it.
Yeah. Like,
LaQuinn,
speak up.
you know?
Right. Use your
Speak
voice.
up.
Be heard.
Because you're not going to do it. So, okay, no problem. When you're with me. So even on our internal calls, I would say how she stepped up to Mass Appeal. I would say, you know, things like that because she deserved every accolade and flower that I could give her, right? Cut to, I help her join my sorority, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Shout out. But that's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're called to do. So I've had assistants before, tried to help and teach. But what I've learned is you have to have the willingness. Not everybody wants that. Some people just want the title and the money. Right? And
Girl, why are you on here telling all my business right now?
and
You can take the horse to the water.
Yeah, and I still speak
But you can't make them
to
drink it.
2 out of 3 once in a blue of my assistants that I've had throughout my career. And one said to me a while back, thank you. You know, I felt like you were hard on me. And I was really hard because I
You
grew up
see what's within them.
sweating like, girl, these men, I was about to say niggas, but they are. They wolves, right? They wolves.
Yeah.
And
they'll test you. They'll try you.
They will test you and try.
And they'll talk
now, listen,
crazy
girl, you
to
want to
you.
have a good time. I
Yeah.
get it, but I don't work hours,
Right,
right?
right.
You have this thing. So I always understood that, but now I can articulate what being a leader is. It's not about me being in the forefront. It's about the team that I have, right? The support that I have. And even doing this with you, I brought my publicist with me.
Yes,
right?
yes.
And brought her on. And I did that for a reason, because if I'm here, we all here.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
I take my village with me.
That's right.
And while give certain people a shout out because they deserve it. They
That's right.
deserve those flowers.
And they're worthy of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes. So I would say that my leadership, and it also happens in the not so good times.
Yeah.
Right? Because I can't say that
Yeah.
the past few years I've just been on a high horse, right?
Yeah.
My leadership, there are, when you carry your cross, it is heavy.
Yes, it is.
And that cross that you carry comes with a lot of stuff. If you say,
Yes, it does.
you know, I've learned to pray very specifically, right?
Absolutely.
And now I started to pray for strength for what comes my way, because it's gonna come, you know?
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. And so how do you stay grounded? I feel like you've already answered this question a little bit just in your, just in answering your questions. How do you stay grounded in intuition and long-term vision?
Short answer, God.
God, come on.
Right. It's me and Jesus.
Okay.
And therapy.
And therapy.
And therapy.
No, that it's important. I'm glad. But my follow-up question is kind of, I think this was, because I've been following your journey. I read about everything. I told you off camera, I'm a huge supporter and a fan of your work. But how do you protect your peace while holding space for creativity and visibility?
Yes. I think the grounding and keeping peace are together.
Right.
So I'll answer the grounding side of it. The grounded is my loved ones around me.
Yes.
Right.
Got to get around family.
First
For the
layer
magnetism.
is God. Yes.
Yes.
First layer is God.
Yeah.
Prayer, my faith, and therapy, right? Because they go hand in hand.
I'm glad you said that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's taboo in our community to talk about getting help, to get work, to push
I
through
wouldn't have I would not be sitting here if I did not have Jesus and therapy.
Come
I would
on
not.
now. Come on now.
I would not. Not even my friends who are the strongest, not even my support system who's the strongest, would have been able to help me after what I've been through. And for that, the mind is a very small thing. When I was going through the darkest time of my life, I was also in the highest time of my career.
Oh, wow.
I co-created and co-executive produced Hip Hop Turning 50 at Yankee Stadium.
Yes.
Right? That's my other baby.
Congratulations on that. No, that was a huge event.
Yes. I mean, it's historical. It's
Yeah.
legendary.
Yeah.
And so while I'm going through this, I'm also going through a very tumultuous time personally, and to hold my head up high, despite what I was going through, was a challenge for me, right? It was a challenge. It was a very dark period. So my grounding was, some folks say, oh, let me get a massage. Let me go do this.
I'll go
and
to
it's
yoga
just
or
Jesus and therapy or this. No, I mean, every second I had to ground myself, literally, right? And that lasted, not even exaggerating, a year. Yeah, I had to, it was grounding myself, holding my head up high despite what people were saying, what the streets were saying, what everybody was saying. And grounding myself was knowing that this was going to pass, knowing that it doesn't change who I am.
Come on now.
Knowing that I am still beautiful. I'm still a great woman.
A good person.
Yes, I'm a good person.
And you're so kind.
You know, and that's the
And
thing.
you went through all of that during that.
Yes. And there's a difference between kind and nice,
Yeah, it is.
right?
It is.
So that grounding was daily, you know, and part of that grounding was crying, you know, every day, every night. Some of that grounding was, how do I naturally go to sleep? Because I had insomnia, right?
Wow.
And it was all the things that, what brings me peace, and immerse myself in that. So that piece that we're talking about is started with, okay, how do I say no? And I started to say no to a lot of people, a lot of things, and I had to let go. So I had a lot of loss, a lot of friends, a lot of coworkers, a lot of associates, loss of even my job.
Because yes, it's expensive. Yes, it's very expensive.
Yes, I moved from LA to New York. Okay,
Oh,
I came
gosh.
back. That was a loss.
This was
grieving
within that year.
Yeah. 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 You know, I just had back to back loses, and it looked crazy. I didn't have wins that were your traditional way of what I thought was winning.
Right.
And it put so much of a perspective in, what is the true definition of your piece? This is all great. Being
Yeah.
in the business, working with all the artists, like
It's
that's
very glamorous.
that's glamorous.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And then you're looking good.
a blessing,
so people
right?
think you got it all together.
Yep,
You know,
and I
and
didn't.
you're like, you know what? I am having a difficult time. You know?
I was past difficult.
Oh God.
I was past difficult. Yeah,
Wow.
I was
But but
past
maybe it
that.
was just grace. Because I didn't know all of that was going.
It
I was
was
following your journey on
grace.
social media, but I didn't
Yeah.
know all of that was going on,
yes,
sis.
yes.
And you came through it.
Yes.
And you
And part
powered
of the
through
healer
it.
was me posting about some of the personal stuff I was going through. So, you know, one of the personal things I was going through was domestic violence. And now the beauty about going through that is now I can help someone else. You'd be surprised how many women in this business
Listen.
have gone through that, have hit me up on the side, that don't talk about it.
I know they stay
And that's
silent.
where I found my peace also too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
my thing is now, my peace is a non-negotiable,
That's right.
right?
There's no compromise.
I'm not stepping into it. I'm not doing business with it. I'm not.
One red flag, that's it.
Yeah, yeah. The answer is no.
The answer is no.
The
Immediately
answer's
no.
Relationships.
Yeah.
You know, I truly want peace. It doesn't mean that I won't have challenges.
Right.
And I understand that there's a different, right?
Right.
And it's how you navigate through the challenges.
Right.
That is my testimony.
Right.
Of how I maintain my peace.
Yeah.
I don't argue.
No.
Because it ain't worth it.
I don't either.
But now we're gonna agree to disagree.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I'll walk away. I won't argue. I'm the
Yeah.
same way. I'm like, you know what? Okay. If we can't talk the way we're talking
Yeah.
now, I can't do
Yeah.
it.
But I used to. You know,
Yeah.
I used to. The industry taught me, this is what you do. You're a wolf. Right?
Yeah. Now you're
And-
like, okay, meeting's over.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm
okay,
like-
if we're not gonna have a dialogue or talk, have a discussion, because
Yeah.
I'm not my blood pressure, honey.
Yeah.
I'm not getting ready to do
I'm gonna
that.
tell you,
Yeah.
here are my expectations.
Yep.
Here's my do's and don'ts. Here's what I do. Does it work for you? No,
Healthy
and
boundaries.
No hard feelings.
None whatsoever.
I really, truly, hand to God, don't have hard feelings.
Yeah.
You know, about that, because that would imply that I take it personal. And that's another thing too. In this business, or just in life, life is super short. There's very little that you should take personal, because 9 times out of 10, it's that other person experience, values, and I try to honor and create a space for the individual to be. You could be whoever you are. I've been following Mel Robbins,
yeah.
the let them theory.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, you know, when you're at a certain space and you have this idea, that let them theory, you know, when you apply it to your life after you've gone through something, and then some, right? that's how you maintain your peace in this.
Yeah.
And I always want to be a light in dark spaces.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been getting back into the 4 agreements. And so
yes.
just the one about taking things personal.
Yes. I had
I'm like,
that.
I can't control what you think about me or what I do or what I believe I can do. I'm to the point where I don't even really share with certain individuals because I know what the response will be. I know what the looks will be. I'll watch their face turn up.
Correct.
As I'm telling them some good news. And I'm like, you know what? People that I've known my whole life.
Yes.
Family members.
Yes.
And now I'm keeping personal achievements to myself now because I don't want to make them feel better. I don't want to hear any negative energy or negative, anything negative. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'm being, to your point about being elevated to a certain point, and it's not personal. Don't take it personal. You can't take it personal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it has nothing to do with you.
Yes.
Has everything to do with them.
Yes.
But it took me a minute to get used to that because I want to just share my good news.
Yes.
Like I get to talk to Jenya Meggs, everybody be like, oh, that's nice. Must be nice. Or I'm like, okay, you know what? They're just gonna see it drop when it come out now.
Yes.
So it's a different vibe,
And again, it's funny you say that because coming from, like I said, I'm first generation. Right? So my family didn't understand. I was pre-med in college.
Oh, Lord.
And they were like, you're what? I changed my majors. I was pre-med and I changed in junior year.
Wow.
And they were like,
what are you doing?
What is
we need
happening?
An explanation.
Right? I was like, doesn't work for me.
Wow.
And
the pivot. Wow.
Such a huge pivot, right? And then I went to a whole liberal arts major and
I bet they were like, what is happening?
Minored in Africana studies and majored in 18th century literature.
Oh, wow.
Rando. So
what did your parents do? I know they were on pins and needles. Like, bring us in on what you're doing.
Like, what? And then my dad was like,
yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. And I started working at some hospitals doing hospital administration because of the experience that I had. And then I started working at Def Jam.
Wow.
And my mentor at the time, she had just launched JetBlue, and she knew Rob Love over at Def Jam, and I started, went through a bunch of interviews. But I say that all to say that pivot of no one understanding, taking that leap of faith, is what got me here.
Yeah.
To be able to even sit in front of you, right?
Wow.
To have that background where you would even want to talk to someone like me, right? With the experience, just looking at paper, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And because I took that leap of faith and not listen to the naysayers or whomever, be it family members, be it friends, like, okay,
what are you doing? I have you in a box.
Yeah.
My idea of you is this.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. And then cut to those same family members at time or friends at time when I was high, right?
Yeah.
And money was big, right? You had no problem coming along for the ride.
Right.
Yes, ma'am. Right? So
yeah, man.
it is understanding this is your path, this is your life, and what's the worst that could happen?
What's the worst that can happen? Go for it.
Yeah, I'd rather go for it than not.
Absolutely. I'd rather go for it than not. I'd rather go for it than not. Okay? I'm going to have to put that on my chalkboard.
Yeah. I just be telling Jesus, all right, I'm about to jump. Catch me.
No. You teaching a whole clinic today.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. And so what are your thoughts about shine in politics?
I think
being from Belize.
Yes, I know, right? My Belizean Brooklyn brother.
Yes.
So Shine and I go back. We work together at Def Jam. Our families know each other as well.
Okay.
And I think it's great that he made that pivot and step into politics, specifically in Belize, because Belize is evolving. I'm jaded. Beautiful country,
Yes.
right? And the roots and the culture, and putting it on the map, right? You've heard other folks rap about it, like Foxy has rapped about it, or
I know,
you
right?
know, folks have
Living
mentioned
on your knees,
Belize.
yeah.
Yes. So I love that. I love that he put Belize in this global place, right, at a time that Belize needed that. And it also helped the awareness of Belize. So I think that's beautiful for it. I think that he also was very smart in finding a way to pivot despite the obstacles that he had to overcome, right?
Yeah, what an
He too,
ordeal.
he too had to overcome some things. So I think that that move was a great move. I think it was a great move for him for that moment and putting Belize, you know, on the map.
Absolutely. And so, as a woman who uplifts culture, how do you make space for healing and growth?
For myself,
Yes,
or
personally. Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
that's a good one. That's in space.
Because you're busy. And so I'm like,
Yes.
where do you find the time?
Space for healing and growth. I'm still working on that, if I'll be super honest, right?
I take walks. I
Walks
talk to
are really
myself.
good. I walk
take
with my
walks. I talk to
dog.
myself.
Yes.
I solve my
I do
problems.
that. I do that a
I'm
little.
like, you know what I could say?
Yeah.
I could probably add, or
Yes.
this is what I'll do. I won't ask about it. I won't talk about it yet.
Yeah.
Or, and I'm talking to people. I'll be like, good morning,
Yes.
good morning.
Yes, I do talk to myself a bit more. Try to talk it through out loud. Not to be cliche, but prayer.
Yes.
Conversations with some girlfriends that I trust, depending on the topic.
Oh, of
Not to
course.
say I don't trust other girlfriends, but whomever.
Right, it's
you
like a
know,
release.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm talking to. Sometimes I gotta talk to my single girlfriends about
Yes.
things versus my married. You know.
Right.
So I'm working on it because what I went through, I had to quiet the self talk
Yeah. Yeah.
because I put myself down a lot when I was going through what I was going through. So everyone was supporting me and saying great things and lifting me, but no one was there in those quiet moments that I was saying some
Those
really
intrusive thoughts. Yeah, man.
bad stuff
It's
about
rough.
myself. I should have did this. I could have did this. Why didn't I see this? Like I said, with the domestic violence, why did I pick him? Why did I do this? Like, I'm stupid. I'm this. I'm that. Like, I don't deserve X, Y, Z, or you know.
goodness.
Yeah, it was. And those are just small things that I used to say. So that healing and growth is a constant process. I think I constantly have to work on that if I'm gonna be real honest about myself. You also see other women in the business doing things or at a higher place, right? And it's really hard not to compare, or think, had I not gone through this, would I be further?
Right. Or
Or
have
had
this
I
result.
done this,
Yeah.
or would I have this result? But learning to let that go
Right.
is a constant thing, because once the thought comes in your head, you can't control that.
That's right.
But what I can control is, what are the positive affirmations that I'm putting into it?
Exactly.
Because I have to love myself, right? And I have learned to do that on a daily basis. I have mantras that I say all the time. And when there are challenges that those come in, when I do have the doubt, because I'm human.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'll get nervous. And
Yeah.
when the anxiety comes in, it doesn't come in as much as it used to, but I had bad anxiety. And how do I build myself up? So, I take those moments. There's nothing that I do that I don't take a beat and a breath before. And if I'm late, by doing so to an appointment, it's okay.
Yeah.
Right? Because
Yeah.
I have to create space for myself first before I can walk into somebody else's space, right? And I like to call it like my metaverse. You know, I had to step into your metaverse and then I got to step back out. But while I'm in your metaverse, how am I, you know, in my true form?
Yeah.
And that's the being in it, but not of it.
Right. And it's how you preserve your,
Yeah.
your self-preservation,
Yes.
because you still have to be high functioning.
Yes. So I'm
Yeah.
a work in progress. I
Yeah.
am not perfect. I don't have all the answers. I try my best to be this raw, uncensored, and vulnerable.
Yes.
Vulnerability is my power. Vulnerability is my power because I think there is a beauty in that. We don't have too much of that anymore.
It shows that you're human. It shows that you're human.
And what is anybody else going to do to me?
Yeah. I mean, I think that, you have this incredible way of connection just by being vulnerable.
Yes.
And being open and honest.
Yes.
And, people can tell when you fake and they can tell when you
Yeah.
fake in the front,
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think because of your authenticity, it makes people say, okay, I trust her because she's honest with herself and she's honest about things, And so if you could define your legacy in one sentence, what would it say?
I'm still building my legacy, to be honest with
Really?
you. I'm really excited about this next, I don't even call it a chapter, this new book.
Okay.
Right? This new book of my life.
I'm thinking, okay, we're going to have to come back for a part 2. We're had to come back.
I'm really excited because
to Manhattan. Yeah.
I sat for 2 years, and I think God had me in a really place where I just watched and
observed. Yeah.
So I'm just getting started.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I think everything I was doing was just the prequel.
To what's coming?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I think I'm just getting started.
So abundance, alignment, elevation.
Absolutely.
Come on now.
Absolutely.
Come on now.
It's
My
only
girl.
up. It's only up.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And so what advice would you give to a young Black creative that want to preserve culture on their own terms, the way you have?
Believe in yourself, first and foremost. You can't be the best in your circle.
Right.
You got to seek whoever's doing it now, whoever's seek the support, and not a mentor, because I used to always look for a mentor. So I would say seek another individual who's in that space, who's working in that space, and really offer your time. Try to learn from that individual. I learned a lot by supporting, right? And being of servitude,
right?
Not realizing that now, of course, I can articulate that, right?
Yeah.
And I know we all have to make some money, but in those spare time, do your research.
Yes.
I'm so big on research, right? Studying, immersing yourself, read a book, do an audio book. If actual reading a book is not for you, you don't have time, listen to podcasts about that specific area and immerse yourself in that creative space, right? So I want to learn art right now. So I have some girlfriends that are in art. I have some friends from high school that are in art. So I'm like, okay, what are you buying? Or I ask other friends that buy art, why'd you buy this? What is this? And, try to learn in that way and really get into it. However your learning skill or type is, apply that to, your field of creativity. And spend time with it.
Yeah.
If this is what you want to do, then you have to spend time with it. I mean, you create,
eat, sleep, drink, right? Whatever that passion is.
Whatever your passion is, go for it. Be bold. Step out there. Go
Self-sacrifice.
Yeah,
like it's not
put
for the faint
yourself
of heart.
out there.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you never know. So, step into that vulnerability because that'll make you unique.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Everybody's a producer. Everybody's an executive producer. Everybody knows this, knows that. It's so easy. Chat GPT is
Listen, I'm telling you,
it is so
AI,
easy to get
okay.
information on anyone, anything, or how to do it. So use your resources, be in those spaces, to immerse yourself in it. If that's what you really want to do, whatever that part. Being a creative, you're not held into a box.
Right.
You have to live outside the box as a creative. So, and then cut to Black young creatives. I think they have more tools than we did. Use the tools around you. Use the opportunities around you. There are so many avenues, corporations, outlets, festivals, conferences that back in my day, there was none of that. It was how can I be down?
Yep.
Mix your power
I
something.
want to get on. Yeah. I'll intern or
Yeah, it was internship, and your internship was good luck, sink or swim.
Yeah.
And now there's regulations for interns,
It
right?
is.
You get paid.
It is. Times have changed. The industry has changed so fast.
So there's so much more that it's just at your fingertips how to find it, And sometimes executives in this business are looking to give that to somebody who's willing and hungry to work for that,
That's
right?
right.
Because good help is hard to find. So, like I said, follow that person on social media and know about that person before you speak to them.
Before you speak to them, yeah.
Again, that's research.
Yes.
Like, what are you getting yourself into? And challenge that person too.
That's right.
Right? I love when somebody will ask me, well, what do you think about this? Or just ask me a challenging question. That doesn't mean it's disrespect, right?
Right.
It's it just means that you have done your research and know, and you take this real serious, right? It'll show that to me. So come correct when you're coming to somebody.
Yes.
And put the work in.
Immerse yourself.
Yeah, it's
and
not
research.
just about the flashiness of it, right? Success is really somebody who went through obstacle courses repeatedly.
That's right.
For you to see that success, right?
Right.
So aligning with someone who is success, it's not just the talk, right?
Yes,
It is. It looks pretty and all the garbs and the things and the materialistic things, but that person, I'm sure, went through
They caught hell.
a lot. So know that about them.
Yeah.
How did you overcome that? How did you get here?
Exactly. And so what's one project that you haven't done yet that your soul still calls you toward?
Oh, you threw the soul in it. That took me in a different.
I couldn't say the mind.
Yeah.
Because I know you would think about it. It's two different things.
It is.
Talk about a soul project, like
because
a yearning.
The mind will take me to, what do I want to executive produce? What do I want to, the soul.
Yeah.
Huh. That's going to convict me.
Yeah.
I want this is where, when my soul aligns with my legacy, I don't have children. So my legacy will be my businesses or my nieces or my godchildren or any support that I have of a young executive coming up. And my soul calls to helping others. It's a very strong philanthropic side that I have. And that is pulling me a lot right now. So
I can tell.
Yeah.
I see your eyes.
Yeah. It pulls me a lot. So there's a lot of things I want to do in Belize that I'm working on specifically. There are a lot of things here that I want to do for our community that I'm working on specifically. So God willing, I will be able to execute that. So those projects are community based here in our communities, statewide, and then naturally in Belize. But I can't say, you know, what
well,
it
you know,
is,
I'm coming back
but
for part 2.
Yes.
Because I feel, I'm someone who listens to words.
Yeah.
But also feel.
Yeah.
I'm an empath, so I'm like, this is
Yes,
getting ready to
me
be
too.
huge.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a soul project. If it's
Yes.
work of the soul.
Yes.
It's not about the money.
Yes.
It's about what you want to see happen.
Yes.
And you want to make a change in the world.
Yes.
And I can tell.
Yes.
I can tell. We got to come
Yes.
back.
Yes. Yes.
And so this is a fill in the blank. We're going to
Okay.
take it back to language class.
Okay.
My greatest challenge taught me to blank.
That's easy. Survive.
Survive.
My greatest challenge
I'm
taught
a
me to
survivor.
survive.
Hey. Wow. That one was good. In this season of your life, what are you unlearning and what are you claiming?
Ooh. That makes me happy.
Yes.
In this season of my life, I am unlearning doubt. I am unlearning, I know you didn't ask for all of this, but I am unlearning anxiety. I am unlearning fear. I am unlearning depression. I am unlearning anything that is not divinely assigned and aligned with my path. So, what was the other one?
What are you claiming?
Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm claiming victory.
Okay.
Yeah, super easy. I'm
Yes.
claiming everything that was lost is mine.
Okay.
Everything that I'm supposed to have, that's mine too.
Yes.
Everything that I put my mind to, victory over that. I'm claiming victory.
What do you want? What do you want?
Ooh, that's a good one. I want to live a good, healthy life. I want to make my parents and family proud.
I'm sorry, I got these lashes done. These lashes are gonna be rubbed off by the end of the day. Oh. Woo.
I want to make
Kleenex, please.
I want to make myself proud. I just want to be a great human being when it's all said and done, you know. Despite thank you.
This happens sometimes.
Yeah. I these are happy tears.
Yes, yes.
I want to be all of what God showed me and told me to be,
Yes.
and what I was born to do, and my contribution during this time. That's what I want.
You deserve it.
Thank you.
And you're gonna have it.
Thank you. Sorry to make you cry.
No,
girl.
it's okay. I can feel. I feel.
Yeah.
And so, what's next for Jenya? For this powerhouse.
What's next for Jenya? Definitely aligning my business, aligning with other folks, you know, helping others to build their businesses, working on dope projects, storytelling, historical live events again, you know,
yes.
just creating that mark in history, focus on building generational wealth focus on building communities, focus on just being able to sit back and retire early, right? Like,
Yes.
live that peaceful life, again, and see others win, see people that are good human beings win. So next will be some more change. I'm ready for that. I think I'm in graduation day right now.
Well,
right now.
yeah.
So next is hopefully that next level. Right. So next level of thinking, doing, being, and just being on this elevated level and just being a grown ass woman.
Yes. Yes. No, I can appreciate that. And so I'm looking forward to what's next, because I already follow you on social media.
Yes.
So I'm going to keep on following you. And so I just want to say thank you.
Oh,
Thank you for everything that you do for the culture. You are such a powerful queen.
Thank you.
You are actually my mentor. I was doing my research. I was like, she don't know. I've been watching her. And she's like, you said, okay, you can't just go up to somebody and be like, you're my mentor. No, but I aspire to be able to achieve success the way you have on your own terms. You make your own rules. You don't take no stuff off nobody.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? You never know who's watching, Jenya.
That's so true.
And we both have our red lip on today.
Yes.
We both in our big girl. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I just want to say thank you.
Thank you
just for continuing to be your most authentic self. And we're going to continue to support everything that you do.
Yes.
And
same
just,
here.
Yeah, just thank you for everything you do for the culture too, because we've been rocking out. You're a huge part of this culture. And I just want to give you your flowers.
Thank you.
Because a lot of people may not know your name, but you are one of the main reasons why so many of their favorite MCs are so popular. So many of their favorite singers are so popular. It's because of the work that you put in. So thank you, Queen. I'll take my bow for everything you've done for the culture and are doing for the culture. Do you have a social media you'd like to share?
Yes, at Jenya Meggs. That's JenyaMeggs.
All righty. Thank you so much, Queen. I appreciate
Thank you. And I just want to say kudos to you for even doing this, right? For you being, and the support of your husband, I understand that as well, and working together. But it takes another queen to recognize one, right? So stand in that and walk in those rooms like you own it.
I'm just so grateful for you.
Yes.
I'm so grateful for you. Thank you so much. You taught a whole
Don't
clinic
worry, girl.
today.
I'm going to line you up with some people.
You had a whole clinic today. And so, again, I'm just so thankful for you, Jenya Meggs. Thank you for being on the Queen's Address today. And thank you for tuning in. Peace, King. Peace, Queen.